Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bonkekook here, aka your Lonely Achievement God, coming at you with another achievement video for the good life. As you can probably figure out by looking at the screen if you're familiar with the game, we're going to be taking a look at the DrinQUEEN achievement, which is for winning 100 drinking contests. Now, there's a lot of information to get over here, ladies and gents. But first and foremost, in order to unlock the drinking battles, you have to go through story route A, that deals with the Bloodwoods and the Burley Farms crest. If you are still at the end of the prologue, when it tells you what 3 story routes you need to go through. The one with the Burley Farms crest is the one you need to go through in order to unlock the drinking battles. You'll get to a point, and I'm not going to spoil any of the story, but you'll get to a point where the Vicar, Benedict Macauley, shows up and is super drunk. He won't move or respond to you, so Naomi's great idea is to get him more wasted until he passes out, and thus the drinking battle is born. Once you do unlock this by the story, the Benedict himself tends to hang out at the pub 1977 starting at approximately 10 a.m. almost every day. Now, if you're familiar with this game and have played it as long as I have, you probably figured out sometimes sleeping in will affect the timing of all of the villagers. They won't go where they're supposed to. Sometimes the nights that everyone shape shifts will affect how they'll affect the schedule. So the nights after the Benedict may not be in the pub at 10 a.m. Generally, if you're heading to the pub at 10 a.m., you can catch him running over there, but the schedules are kind of hard to predict. Like, you would think that it would be programmed that all this stuff happens on time if you played any Harvest Moon or any type of game like that, where people have their schedules and are set to them. Well, they do seem to have their schedules in this game. Sometimes they just don't follow them. I have seen the Benedict get stuck on a lamppost and never make it to the pub. There's just a bunch of different things that can happen that may interfere with that, but generally you're going to be going to the pub every day after about 10 a.m. and you can find the Benedict there, and he will be willing to wager money on the drinking game. Unfortunately, you can only do the drinking game once per day, so another reason to hate this achievement, because it will take at least 100 days in order for you to get it, likely more than that, because even if you are very good at this mini game, sometimes the randomness will cause you to fail no matter what. So I don't blame anyone who does not want to attempt this completion because of this achievement. But as you can see on the screen there, we got a little seesaw on the right side with a bar and half circle underneath it, and then we have a exclamation point circle on top. We're going to be controlling the exclamation point circle while the seesaw seesaws back and forth, and our goal is to put spin onto the exclamation point circle to keep it on the platform and do not let it fall off. And you're going to have to do this 5 times. Generally, the platform will shrink after each round, so it will get smaller, and it also tends to be more random and change positions faster in the later rounds of your match. So it's not going to move nearly as fast in round 1 as the platform will change positions in round 5. There are a couple of items and food specifically that you can try to eat to help, but we're not going to cover that right now because this is the story one. And I will say right now, I found the story ones to be more difficult than the daily drinking challenges at the lowest bet amount. So if you are struggling with this, I don't recommend you give up on the achievement yet. Give it a chance when you're doing the daily stuff, when you're find him in the pub and challenge him, he offers 3 different difficulty levels: a $10 bet, a $20 bet, and a $30 bet. And the $10 bet seemed to be easier than what you experience in the story. So I know that's a lot of preface to this, but this is one of the more annoying achievements in the game, and I wanted to get as much of the information up here as I can. And I'm probably going to fail at this. It's been a long time since I've done this minigame, but I did want to show off doing it. So what you're going to need to do is, if I push to the right, and I kind of tap it and keep it around the center here, you might be able to hear me just kind of tapping my analog. Because you don't want to do very big motions because of how the platform moves back and forth. And so if you get too much spin going and the platform moves, you might just get thrown off the platform. So as you can see, I'm just trying to tap it to keep the circle around the center of the platform. Oh, maybe they made this easier. I remember that being a lot more difficult. As you can see, we have defeated the Vicar, and that will, once we get through this storyline, then we can go in, meet the Vicar at the pub most days after 10 a.m., and you can challenge him to another drinking contest. I believe you have to go through his first side quest, which is related to the drinking contests, and then he becomes available for the daily drinking contests towards the achievement for winning 100 of them. So I'm going to rejoin you guys and gals at the next important moment for the drinking contests. Hello there, folks. We are now back, having finished the story route A there. It's actually not very long after that drinking battle that we finish up the route, but it's 10 a.m. on a Monday. So we're going to run to the pub, and you're going to see Benedict is sitting at a table here. And now, again, he's supposed to be here at 10 a.m. on most days. And again, sometimes the game's clocks just don't work right, and the AI doesn't leave their house when they're supposed to, or they go do other things, or I'm not entirely sure what causes it. But while I was trying to grind this out, there were plenty of days that I'd get down here at 10, and for whatever reason, the Vicar wouldn't be here. But if I came back, the next Monday and the Monday after that, he would show up at 10. So it's not like a Monday-related thing, which is what I thought it could be. Like maybe on Mondays he goes up to the church or something. So just check in at 10 a.m. is what I recommend doing for your daily checklist of things to do. And if he's not there, just continue doing everything else and pop back in when you get the chance to see if he's here. But what we're going to do is we need to talk to him.
Seriously? Nope.
Good Lord.
I hope it's Vicar. The Vicar? Maybe? I don't know. That doesn't sound right either. Probably wrong.
Yeah.
So this is the side quest for him, and we need to have a drinking contest. So go ahead and hit A to start now. There are 2 things you could potentially do. Oops, I left a drink there. But I don't know if this is the case anymore, because from what I've heard, some people said this didn't work anymore. But one of the food items over here, the extra legs, affects your ability to stay sober. So you see the extra legs on the pickled cockles, the herb roasted nuts, the dried fruits, the pork scratchings, the notorious pickles. And supposedly eating those things will help you stay sober while you are going through the drinking game. The other thing you can do, and I'm going to show you this right now as well, is if you run over to the Fancy and Bunny, you can purchase 3 DrinKIng items. And the drinking items are not as useful as they kind of sound like. So you can buy 3 of them every restock of inventory. I believe that's on Thursdays, but I don't know specifically, so don't quote me on that. And as you can see, taking a DrinKING gives you extra legs. Now, we're going to buy 3 of them just so I can show them working once we're in the drinking game. But essentially what it does is it's going to extend the bar. So we only had a 3-round drinking game in the story quest, but when we're doing it for the side quest and for daily for the achievement, you're going to have 5 rounds with the Vicar, Benedict Macauley. And every round of the length of the bar is going to decrease to make it more difficult. Now, that's where the drinking comes in, because using a drinking will extend the bar a little bit again. It's not a whole lot, though, so I do recommend trying to avoid using them if you're not on the 4th or 5th leg of the match, because it's kind of a waste to use it on round 2. If you're going to die on round 2, just die on round 2. Until you have a bunch of them built up. If you have 100 drinkings, feel free to use them as much as you want. That would be quite an effort in and of itself. But we're going to go ahead and start. Just basic. We're not going to get any of the items. And as you can see, he actually took 20 currency from us, which means we're doing the medium drinking challenge, which is, as I mentioned, more difficult than the $10 or currency challenge, which I recommend trying to complete. This one will be more difficult. And just like before, we're going to try to keep our ball right centered so that when the position of the bar changes, we're not overextending ourselves to the other side and getting flung off. Now, this will start to get more difficult, and when it does, you can press A to take a drinking, and that will extend the bars at the end so that you have more room. And there we overextended, but we were able to save ourselves. And right off the bat, since we're in number 5, I'm going to use a drinking, and you can see it got a little bit wider. I'm just going to use another one, just so we end up winning. We didn't struggle too much there, but unfortunately, the thing is kind of random. I have had instances where the game just flung me off the bar with no part of my own. I had nothing to do with it. So you do have to be very careful when going through. But I do recommend not trying to hold the analog, just tap it in the center and saving your drinkings for the 4th or 5th leg when it starts getting more difficult.
Yeah, baby. Damn you.
So we got...
Nope.
He's like, I wanna drink with you again. I had already drunk before you got here.
Thanks as always.
And so from this point on, you can run up to the Benedict at 10 a.m. and he will be drinking every day. You can run up to him and do the drinking challenge. And that's kind of all there is to it. It's very simple, but very stupid. And again, I don't blame any of you who want to quit. From this point on, when you talk to him, you can choose a wager. You can choose, like I said before, I believe it's 10, 20, or 30 currency. And the 10 currency I found to be the easiest. I don't know if that's true or not. It may have just been, random luck that the first time I played the $20, it was more difficult than when I was playing the 10. But I stuck to the $10 bet, and I probably lost like 8 times over on my way to the 100 Drinking Games 1 achievement. It's going to be frustrating. I recommend it. A lot in this game, I actually recommend creating a schedule and just adding it to a daily routine. So you go do the sheep race, you shear and brush your sheep, you find the Vicar, you do aluminum cans. I kind of recommend making a schedule that you do every couple of days, especially for the grindy achievements in this game. But that's all I got for you, ladies and gents. If you have any questions or comments for me, as always, let me know down below. I will always do my best to answer them, but if not, then I will see you guys next time.